guys, how's it going? So today has been an exciting day. What you just watched was the sod being installed in front of the Hartley. Oh my goodness, what a fun experience. I've never had sod installed in any of the areas that we've worked on, and I don't think Aaron has either. We figured we would just try this as an experiment because it's such a small piece. We made the lawn way smaller than it was. So before it went all the way back to those plants and went all the way over here, and we took out, sod around the front of the Hartley area, and the grass went pretty much like right to where those plants are over there as well. Like all of this was grass. And we did recently show you where we brought the tractor in and scraped up all of the sod. And we did that for a few reasons. Like, yes, we went back in with the same thing, but there was a ton of clover in that grass, and we kind of just let it go a little bit because some of the sprinklers had been capped when we had the Hartley installed. So there were dead patches. It would have taken a lot to rehabilitate what was currently here. Plus, we needed to run a new sprinkler system in this area. And without sod in the way, it wasn't hard. Like, they were able to trench wherever they wanted to get the sprinklers where they needed to without going through anything else. Also, the ground was very uneven. And I don't know if you've walked on lawns like that before, where like visually you can't tell how bumpy it is, but you start walking around and all of a sudden like you fall into kind of a low spot. So you never were quite sure. You had to be kind of aware of what you were doing when you were walking around on this piece of grass. And the same thing behind the barn. That was one of the many reasons why we decided to scrap the grass that was back there and start over, because we wanted a nice leveled out area to have the grass. But you can see the sprinklers are running. Now it is supposed to be 99 degrees today, but we are trending down. Like, we're gonna be down in the 70s by the end of the 10-day. And rule of thumb, when you're having sod, oh, look at, there they go. When you're having sod installed, you have to keep it pretty moist for the first couple of weeks, especially if it's hot. So we will be doing that. Also, when they installed the sprinklers here, they installed sprinklers around the jelly beans. So we've been watering these poorly by hand for these last 8 years or 7 years or however long it's been. And they've always looked bad. And they're already looking beautiful. And I kind of feel like this shape is in keeping with what we have going on over here, which our drain field, our septic drain field, goes right through this area. So we really can't do much digging anyway, so we have to do some sort of grass thing. One day we might retool this space a bit, or not, I don't know. Just having the grass look nice here is so great. And Aaron wanted to go with the 6-inch pop-ups here instead of the 4-inch pop-up sprinklers, because we've experienced in the other areas, we had the 4-inchers installed and they just were not getting up over the grass, especially if you decide you want to keep your grass a little higher, which has been keeping our grass healthier. The grass kind of deflects some of the water and then you end up with dry patches. So if you just start with 6-inch sprinklers, then you don't have to monkey around with swapping them out later. But I am just so thrilled with this. Now our weeping willow, on the other hand, was not so thrilled about this. And Aaron, when he was scraping up the grass, he didn't go deep. He said he ran into like a couple small roots, but nothing real big. But what my suspicion is that this tree was being primarily watered by the grass sprinklers on this side, and we had it off for a while. So we've been running a hose. In fact, I don't know if you can see that hydrant. I've got a slow trickle going on the hose pretty much 24 hours. So I think now that we've got grass sprinklers going again, we are going to be cleaning this area up, reinstalling drip. We're going to be moving Hebe. We're gonna move her out about, I don't know, 10 feet. So we're gonna move her out right here. And then we can start building and moving some of these plants either out or forward, and just retooling this whole flower bed. Here's a look back toward the house. Oh my gosh, it's pretty. Boy, I wish we could do this behind the barn. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, hey Russell. Hey kitty kitty. And then here's a look back toward the Hartley. And the variety of grass here is a blend. It's like a bluegrass rye blend, much like all of our other grass in the big lawn and right up here. So it's gonna look very similar or basically the same. What do you think, Russell? What do you think of that? It's nice and soft. I was just so excited to show you guys what this looked like. And now that this project is done, we can start planting in this area. I've just held off, and much like I do in most areas, when I know that we need to trench or I know something big needs to happen and I don't want to have to work around little things that I have planted. We did pick up a couple of trees when we were at Jaker that we're going to be flanking this pathway with. So we'll get those in probably in a couple of weeks when they deliver. I'm thinking I want to keep everything else, like, so we'll have the 2 trees and we'll have those limbed up along with the other 4. I'd like to put some evergreen interest over here that's got maybe a little bit more height. But in this space, I want to keep everything maybe on the lower-ish side so that we can still have a view, except for right here. I kind of want to put something in this gap right here so we can still see the willow, but something that's got a little bit of vertical interest. I think that would be nice instead of having this whole area completely flat. So today's project is to bring some stones over here. Now we have this pathway, the flagstones, in more of a like legit pathway in that they've got that polymeric sand between them. But I don't want it to look like we've got a network of those like veins running through this space. So I would like the little connecting pathways just to be individual stones. So like the opening to our fireplace area, I just want to have just this little meandering pathway that doesn't come straight. It needs to kind of curve over here. And then one that goes from that over to the grass, which will then lead you over to the Persephone garden should you want to go that way. And then over on this side, which I should have showed you when we were over here. Hey, buddy. So another pathway from here that connects over to this one right here. So that no matter where you're at in this space, you feel like you can access whatever other direction you want to go. It's so pretty. And depending on how that goes, we may get out and do a little something else later on. There's plenty of perennial cleanup and or planting to do around here. Would you like to share your thoughts?
Oh, I love it. It looks great.
Isn't it pretty?
It looks really good. I think I'm going to run it just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because I think you want to keep it pretty moist.
I wish we could do this behind the barn. Wouldn't that be awesome? Okay, here we are at the pallets of stone. And these are the same stones that we used for the other pathway that leads up to the Hartley. So everything will match. And I'm thinking of just kind of picking through and getting some of the larger stones to do this walkway. And here comes Erin and the kids. You got your muscles ready?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also, I got a watch.
Yes, you do. What? I don't know how many stones it's going to take, but not too terribly many, I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know how you want to do it exactly.
Well,
if you want to go thick or like a lot of them.
No, I think fewer and larger.
Just stepping stones?
Yeah. And, you know, we might change our minds once we start in. I don't know. We just got to see it.
Are you sure you don't want to go see the ones that are at Ontario Rock and Landscape? Because I swear they're all twice the size of these.
Really?
Yep.
Do we need them to be twice the size, though?
Well, I think if you're going to make them all stepping stones,
yeah,
they need to be as big as possible. Why is there so much dirt in here?
Ugh. Well, you know what? Maybe we should go look at them just in case. Maybe while we go look at the stones, we can take the kids to see the new chickens at the garden center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a couple stops real quick before we start our project. Okay, so we're here at Ontario Rock and Landscape. And while there are some larger stones in here, I think that we can pick through our pallets that we've got at home, like our little short pallets, and we could at least get 1 or 2 of the walkways done and see if we like the look to begin with. These actually all have our name on them. What happened is we ordered a pallet of those stones, you know, for around the pond area and then also for that pathway that I showed you right in front of the Hartley. And then they contacted Erin and said, you know, we have the ability at this moment to order more from that same vein, like they're taking the rocks from this specific quarry. So if you want to get your hands on stones that match what you currently have, I would probably order them now. So Erin decided, yeah, let's just do that. Make the investment. We'll get the stone. We just haven't had it delivered up to our house yet. That way we have stone to work off of that matches everything else, which is kind of nice. Makes your heart happy, doesn't it, to match? So I think we're gonna make do with what we've got at home for now, but we are gonna head to the garden center to see the new chickens real quick. Oh, oh, there they are. You want to come in and see them?
Can I hold them? I want the black one.
Their names are Lily and Rose.
Is there a third one?
Nope, just the 2. Nana to the rescue. She's gonna get one of them out. Oh, she's climbing in. You gotta hold it around the top too, bud, like how Nana's holding it, kind of around. There you go. And very gently.
She tickled me. She's so cute. I bet she's getting calm. Put your hands out.
Yeah.
I bet she's getting calm now. Put your hand. Oh, I bet she tickled me.
Isn't she so fluffy?
Can I hold her? I'm I'm always scared that they're going to poop on me. Do they poop a lot?
Back at home, and you can see, you know, right away, if we move some stuff around, there are some bigger pieces in here. So I think we'll be good. Yeah.
Cool.
So what we're going to do is just that. We're going to kind of pick around in these pellets, find some nice sized rocks, and then take them over and start placing them. All right, guys, we did not finish the pathways, but we got far enough to know kind of what we want and the shape of them. We ran out of large enough stones. That's kind of what we decided. Toward the end, we were starting to put down these stones that just weren't quite big enough, and the pathway was starting to look more narrow and more narrow. So we decided to stop, and we're gonna live with it too for a little while without kind of sinking the stones and leveling everything up, just to make sure we like the trajectory of the pathways and to see if we really like the look of the individual stepping stones versus a very formal pathway, which we have so much formality around here. I kind of thought it might look nice to have a cozier, tucked in flag, just stepping stone style pathway, but we'll see what we end up doing. And we maybe could have kept picking through the pallets what we have left out there. I know it looks like we have a ton of stone, and there's a lot of rocks out there, but a lot of them are irregular pieces or very small pieces. We tend to go through the larger stones first, and then we end up with a lot of smaller ones that you have to use in situations like this, for example. Like even in this narrow pathway that leads up to the pond, you'll notice a lot of bigger stones, and then, you know, there's some little guys in between, but we don't use near as many little ones as we do larger ones. And this is an example of a more formal, I guess, pathway with the sand that looks like the one that leads from the front of the Hartley. But let's take a closer look at these. This is going to be more cottage style and overflowing abundance, while this is going to be much more tidy, clean lines, very sharp. So I like that juxtaposition. So you walk up this way, and then you can take off down this cozy little pathway, which, you know, we could have lined with lavender or something wonderful like that. And then it kind of drops you off into the lawn, and you can go straight across this way. We started with the pathway right in here, and then I decided it was too like short and straight, and I needed it to curve a little. Let me show you from this side. So you come through under the grass here, and then enter this walkway, and it has just kind of a nice gentle curve. And you can see these need to be sunk down so that they match the level of this. And then it'll take you over to this side, where eventually, once we get larger stones, it'll kind of curve into this area here. So it'll kind of go whoop, and then it's going to curve like that. And these right here are not meant to be main thoroughfare walkways. This is more for that, like higher traffic. And then the walkway leading out to the driveway is a higher traffic area. But I cannot wait to get the 2 maples here. We actually thought about doing 2 more maples right in here, so that there's kind of like this alleyway. That might be something we end up doing, I don't know. Or we might just do the 2 maples there and then do something wonderful right in here and then just start filling in. I love the color of these stones though. They are so pretty. I think Was it Tomahawk? Was that the name of the stone that we decided? We had to find that out after the last recap video. I think Erin looked it up. And that's why we decided it was so important to order the stone and just have some on hand, because we knew with the addition of, you know, the new space that we have behind the barn and in front of this area here, that we would have more areas that we will eventually need walkways, and it would be so nice to be able to have something that is the same throughout the property. You know, bricks, this type of stone, grass and gravel are kind of the four things that we use a lot of, and it's nice when you don't have to change the color variation. And this Tomahawk stone has got a lot more gray in it. There's a lot less brown than the stones that we use for the Hartley, which that's actually another reason why we decided to order more of this stone, because we couldn't get our hands on any more of the Hartley stone. So, you know, we could have gone with that, I guess, color or that lot of stone, but there just wasn't any more of it. Not in big pieces, they could get it in small pieces. So we thought, well, whatever one we land on that looks the closest to the Hartley stone, so it kind of looks like it matches, let's just go with that. Everywhere. And it's similar enough, you know, lots of gray, and then we've got a gravel, and then we go in here, quite a lot of gray. It looks very similar, but you'll notice a lot more rust and stuff color coming out. And I asked them not to use a lot of those, so we actually have a lot of really orangey rust colored rocks out on pallets that they just did not use in this project. They did put one in here that was pretty orange. That one, when it's clean, is pretty orange. It feels good in here though, you guys. Oh. We have the AC unit running right now, and I don't think I'm going to do anything else. I think we're going to call it at that, even though it doesn't look like we made a tremendous amount of progress. Oh, heat's getting to me. But moving stones around when it's close to 100 degrees, for some reason that feels extra tough. One more look at that walkway. I really like it. I am leaning toward the more cozy, more natural-ish looking path, and let to the main pathways be more formal. I might not feel that way in a couple of days. That's why it's so nice sometimes just to put something out and then just look at it for a good solid week before you move on your decision. And here's the other one. Now these rocks on this side, we're not going to have to sink very much. We'll make sure they don't wobble, but we need to bring in so much mulch to bring it level with these bricks that we're going to be able just to mulch in between all these stones instead of sinking these. That'll be super nice. But huge shout out to Pedro and his crew from Fruitland Landscaping. They just did a beautiful job on this whole space, getting the sprinklers done, the sod in. It works beautifully and I love it. And before they did this project, they finished all the sprinklers in the back area by the play set, and in that middle section all the sprinklers are done. So now all we're waiting on, I think, is just us. We've got to get in there. Erin wanted to get some compost in and really level out and clean up the soil surface, and then we can seed that. It's exciting. Anyway guys, that is it for today's projects. What a fun day it's been here. I mean, seeing a project like this one just like poof, done. New grass, it looks beautiful. Sharp edges I didn't have to cut. I'm not used to that, except for the pond. I mean, the pond went in 3 days. It was flat ground to what it is now in 3 days. That was just incredible. But it's few and far between when we see projects like that come together so quickly. I'm used to projects taking all season long. So this has just been a wonderful day. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We will see you in the next one.